And today, my dear friends, we have the speaker for our today. She is Ms. Sapna Changrani. She is the head of secondary and career guidance at Dubai Scholars. She is a strategic leader who guides young professionals in setting realistic career and academic goals. So let us put our hands together, my dear friends, and I would like to hand over the podium, hand over the stage to Ms. Sapna.
Hi, Stephan. Thank
Yes,
you.
Ms.
Thank you
Sapna,
so
I
much.
welcome you. Yes, please. Thank you so much for being here. And yes, please, I hand over the podium to you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. Before I start with my presentation today, I would really like to express my gratitude to the entire community of Brainciti, Job Hunt. Thank you so much for inviting me. It is indeed a great opportunity for us. Why? Because we are in a field of education where we love to educate, we love to impart our knowledge. Whatever we have, we would like to share with everyone, especially young students and young aspirers, the ones who would like to pursue their career. They are now finding their way, seeking path, asking questions, in dilemma, don't know what to do next. There's so many questions that come across their mind. So today I'm here with you to present something. I'll just share my screen. Give me 2 minutes. Okay, so we talk about building new horizons. Now, what does that actually mean? We all know that our starting point is 0, and we move every step with extreme calculation. But there is something that holds us back. It could be the situation that we are in, or it could be our mindset. So my first statement or my first step to move forward would be when we talk about perception. Okay, I think my screen sharing has stopped, Stephan.
Yes, it stopped. You could reshare it again.
Okay, 1 sec.
Yeah.
Is that fine? Can you see now?
Yeah, you can put it in the full slide mode.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, from the beginning or from the current slide. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, if
So this
anything
is
comes up, I will inform you. If anything happens, I'll inform you.
Sure. Thank
Yeah,
you. Thank you.
yeah,
Not a problem at all.
yeah.
We are in a world where these glitches and these situations we will encounter. We do it almost on a daily basis while we are in school. So, okay, to start with, it's our perception that drives our beliefs. As you can see on the screen, it's what you look at it and how you look at it. I think that's the first step of looking at anything in life, whether it's your career, whether it's an important decision that you have to make. And what comes in mind is that, is it the perception that stops us from looking forward, or is it the rejection and the way we look at rejection in life? Is it the power that we cannot look at something in a positive way? Is it that we cannot take in rejections? Is it that we feel that there is something which is binding us, holding us back, and that is our perception? So everything that drives us is our perception, and I really strongly believe in that. Whatever you feel, whatever you want in life, if you have your perception right, things would be very, very different. So all those job seekers who are out there who want to achieve something in life, please get your perception in life right. Don't let this perception actually be a reason to stop you to pursue something which you really want to do in life. It's like, you know, it's very cliche, but then we always talk about the scene in movies that when you're about to catch, you miss the train when you have to go and attend a meeting. It's on a repeat mode. You see it's in so many movies that you have a very important meeting in life, but you miss the train or something goes wrong. You lose out on an account. It's a very unfortunate situation that you're laid off. And there's so many times you feel very dejected that things have not worked out the way you wanted to. So you have to reflect back and see whether this is actually an opportunity, or whether this is something there is something you need to reflect back and see where things are going wrong. So I would say the story starts here. It's a story of why, what, and how. First and foremost thing is you need to understand, why do you need a job? You need a job. Is it because of a need? Is it because of a passion? Is it because you have the luxury to say, okay, let me try something new. Let me do something different. Are you in that state in life? So it's very important that you understand why you need a job. And when I use the word need gives you it gives you a heads up of whether what is it and how is it that you will change your priorities in life. Because the complexity and the threats accordingly will change in life when you, if it's need, if you really need, whether it could be a financial need or it's something that you have to do in life because you cannot stay at home doing nothing. So it all depends on why you need a job and how convinced you are, and then you start looking at your priorities. So once you get the story of why right, then you move to the next step, which we say what. And when we say what, is the first thing you need to reflect on your own self. It's called self-awareness. No matter how many coaches you meet, therapists you talk to, psychologists, any kind of counseling, anywhere you go and meet people, you will get right perspectives. You will get a lot of, as they say, 𝗷𝗂𝗍. But ultimately, it is when you see yourself in mirror and you analyze and you step back and you think that where are my strengths? Where are my weaknesses? Where are the opportunities that I'm not able to find or I'm able to identify? And where are the threats? So first and foremost thing is to do a SWOT analysis. A SWOT analysis for self, and SWOT is never an action, it's just a tool. And if you have the knowledge of your own self and you're aware of what you are and what your strengths are, that's the first step. But remember, do not forget your perception. Your perception is driving force for your SWOT also. So we have strengths, we have weaknesses, we have opportunities and threats. But trust me, if you look at it and when you start analyzing and you start listing out all your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, you come to a point and you realize everything can be turned into a strength. If you're able to identify your weakness, that means you have won the battle 50%. Why? Because you are in a position that you can identify that, yes, this is my weakness. And then it is up to you how you change your weakness into an opportunity. If you are able to identify threats, I think what better strength will that be, that you know where the threats are, where the landmines are, where the blind spots are. If you're able to identify your threat, again, that can be converted into your strength. If you look at a challenge, as a problem, then it is difficult. But when you look at it as an opportunity, things would be very different for you. So the first step is you get your perception right. Second step is know yourself better. Identify your strengths, convert your weaknesses, look at the threats and look at the opportunities of how you can capitalize and make them as your strength. There is no ideal situation. There is no ideal SWOT of anyone. And there is no need to strive for perfection. I think we human beings have to realize that the word HR is also human resources. How resourceful a human can be and how resourceful a human is only when they try to attempt a good SWOT for themselves. So if you want to shortlist anything in life, whether it is for your career or for your academics, anywhere you go, it's very important that first you know yourself. You are in a position where you can say, yes, these are my strengths and these are the ways I can capitalize. These are the areas which need improvement. And do I have an opportunity? Can I create an opportunity? I'm in a world where the competition is too high and the resources are too limited. How do I make a way to my success? And again, success becomes relative, different for each and every one of us. So here I have a career development model of John Holland. He's an American psychologist, and it's RACIC theory. Trust me, I will not dwell more into the theory part because ultimately it's more subjective. What is right for me might not be right for you. We all work at our own convenience and at our own space and at our own pace. But it's always interesting to know when you analyze yourself, what are the kind of styles that you keep in mind? What kind of a person you are, and where could you put yourself into which category? So I think this is a good model which will help you if you're trying to do a better SWOT analysis for yourself, or you're trying to gauge your own aptitude as well. So if you're a realistic learner, if you're an enterpriser, if you are artistic or you're social, each and every again, there is no one size that fits all. You might have some things which are very strong in you. How you will leverage on them, how you will capitalize on them is again a skill. So my suggestion is, whether it is RACIC or any other theory, please look into it. It is definitely, it gives you a better insight to yourself, and it will help you to take your next steps. So we talked about what, but actually, if you have to understand when you are shortlisting your careers or when you are planning your next steps, what is it that you can see or envisage when you're talking about your goals? The first and foremost thing is to do a lot of research. Research is also, again, a skill. Not everyone has it, but it's, again, how you're training your brain all the time and getting things right. How important it is to be very, very objective while you're researching, while you are trying to figure out your hypothesis, your problem in hand, or your why should be very clear, and then you start your research. Without developing your skills, you cannot achieve anything. There is no shortcut to success. And unless and until you do not blend your hard work and smart work together, you will not achieve anything in life. So it's very important, whether through qualifications, whether going to a university, not going to a university, working on site, how you develop your skills. Today, technology is on your fingertips. How you leverage on it, how you want to work towards it. So please develop your skills. Of course, build your network. It's very important. Platforms like this will always help you to build your network. Right person at the right place, the right time. If you have that kind of connection, you will definitely get an opportunity. And sometimes you have all the ingredients, but you still don't get an opportunity. That's the time you create one for yourself. Whether it's COVID, whether it is a normal situation, wherever, however you are, you need to come up with some kind of strategies that will help you create an opportunity for yourself. Again, you're going back to, if you have a positive mindset, you have a growth mindset, you have your perception right, you've done your SWOT, you're clear about it, you know what to do. That means you know that you have to research, you know you have to develop your skills, you have to build your network, you have to be at the right places, you have to connect with people. I know there are some people who are shy, who feel that whether this will help or not, don't have an agenda all the time to meet someone or to socialize with someone. You never know what clicks when and how. So it's very important that you build your network. Of course, it should be purposeful. You need to share those kind of conversations. You need to have those kind of like-minded conversations, those professional conversations, those intelligent conversations where you build your network and try to see how it helps you, how it helps you learn. Maybe it would be useful to you now, maybe it will be useful to you a few years later, but definitely having the right people around you will always be a sure shot, successful route for yourself. So then you create your opportunities, all experiences, you learn from all your experiences. I remember I was 19 years old. Now I'm 45. So it was when I was 19, I took up my first job. And the first thing I learned in the first 2 hours of my job, and which lasted only 2 hours, by the way, was learn to say no to certain things. You do not have the luxury of saying no all the time. I do understand. I did realize that much later in my life. But then it's again very important to say no to certain things. So you don't know when your failures can turn into your success stories. So when you might be 19, you might be 25, you might be 50, you might be 60. We're all learning. The curve is so huge. The curve is steep. The curve is deep, and learning continues. So again, going back to what we do and how we do is the process. The process is very important here. Language skills. You must have heard this so many times when you have a conversation with your spouse and say that, you know, I really love you, but that I don't express myself. Well, great. After 20 years of my married life, I know that you love me, because now you don't need to express. But what if you would have done in the first year of your life? So very important is that learn to express. Whatever you have in your mind, unless and until you do not articulate, you can articulate through different styles, but you need to express. So people, when you're seeking jobs, when you're looking at different opportunities, please be expressive. Please be vocal. Understand that you need appropriate words. You need good language skills to convey what you have to, what you want to. And again, it's not about speaking. You might have the best speakers in the world. I have so many times parents come to me for students. My child is very shy. He doesn't speak. He doesn't say anything. But I know he's very intelligent. The teachers also say the same thing. It's fine. It will take some time. There's a turning point. You never know what happens when. But the process is important. If your child is investing a lot of your time, or if you are investing a lot of your time in listening, eventually you turn out to be a better speaker than anyone else. Because listening is also an art and is much more difficult than speaking, because listening is input. When you were in school, when you were in college, when you were passed out, when you're listening to your boss, unless and until you do not listen, how will you be able to give an output of speaking? So it's very important that you learn the skill of listening. Of course, you need to read. You need to read a lot. And this is not only academic reading, it could be reading from anywhere, especially with the field, with the industry that you have aspiration to get into. So please do a lot of reading. It goes hand in hand with your research. Read good material, watch interviews, look at people's profiles, understand how their journey was, understand their story of why, how, and what. So all these tips will help you, and it will help you to, again, give you an output of writing or speaking. Unless and until you do not listen and read, you will not be able to speak and write properly. So I think that's a very important how that you should keep in mind. Now I'm coming to a very interesting part of my presentation, which I love myself, because I've been, I just love watching interviews. I just love reading profiles. I just enjoy the conversation when I enjoy being on spot also when people interview me. So I don't mind, and I love interviewing people. I love to give them feedback later on and because I think whenever I am a part of an interview, I learn something at the end of the day. So what you need to do is you have to keep a few things in mind when you are going for an interview or preparing for your interview. First and foremost thing is know about your company, where you're getting into inside out. I know, again, your research skills are very, very important. The very fact that you have some knowledge of the company you're getting into will really help you. Second is, of course, flaunt your relevant experience. Now, when we say flaunt, there's a very thin line by doing it and by overdoing it. So when you flaunt, you have to talk, you should be extremely relevant. It should not be on a different tangent. You should make sure that you are talking about real story, real experiences, which are relevant to that particular job or the company, and how you can add value. And this is something which I'm still in process of learning, is you are not always there to impress people. And your experiences are not always to impress and say that, yes, everything is rosy and everything is beautiful. Try to be authentic and genuine as much as you can, because here is the time where you are giving them facts. And understand, the one who's interviewing you, whether he or she is or not, will always believe will have a better edge over you and would have more knowledge than you. So always keep that in mind and don't overdo it, but definitely flaunt your relevant experience. Show that you're a team player. Anyone who wants you on your team doesn't want you to surpass them. I mean, you're going and you don't want to be a threat to your boss right in the first 15 minutes of your interview, right? So it's very important that you are a team player. You show them that you're a team player. You are there to learn something. You have to show, you have to reveal that you have a passion for something. If I look at it, and in the language, in the financial language, if I look at only compensations, for example, you have a job which is with the compensation of 5,000 dirhams a month, then you need to give an output of 9,000 dirhams a month. That's kind of thing you need. You have to cross that extra mile. You have to give them more than what they're asking for. Of course, you need to keep your principles and your ideologies in mind. It is nowhere written that if you put in more number of hours, you're a better worker. In fact, it's taken the other way around in most part of the world, where it's important that you're passionate, but it's important that you're efficient also. So reveal your passion at the time of your interview. Reveal that you want to reveal your ambition and show that you are there. I mean, everybody's looking at commitment. They're investing time in you. They will be investing their money. They'll be investing their energy, training. So you are there. You have to keep up a commitment, and that's something that you should not forget at any given time. So you must show your commitment during your interview. Make it evident that you can't wait to start. It's again a very thin line. You don't need to be over ambitious and over enthusiastic. Be calm, but at the same time, make it very evident in your talk and your mannerism, your body language, that you're very eager to start with them. Express your curiosity and eagerness to learn. Now, it's very human for anyone to understand that I want to learn something from you. If at the end of the session, even if you take back 5% of whatever I have said, so I will feel good at the end of the day, because I know that somebody has learned, even if it is just like 2 statements or 1 experience, that's great. So you have to make your interviewer feel that you are there to learn and you're curious about things. It plays on the human psyche, and it gives you some kind of a high that, yes, you are a good teacher, and then there are people who are eager to learn something from you. Whatever you do at the end of it, just remember that your personal touch, your body language, you don't need to use a lot of words of saying thank you or making the person feel larger than life, but you have to express your gratitude. It's extremely important. That shows what kind of a person you are. Everyone is looking at, understand, within 15 minutes of interview, you're just giving a little fraction of yourself, but that fraction is going to be the deciding point whether you're in or out of the job. And they have some expectations, and it's the skill that you will have of how you will touch their pulse and how you will make that work. So being a good human, your body language, the way you speak, the calmness in your tone, the excitement, also how you're balancing it, it's very important. And then please show your gratitude, whether you get the job or not, but you do leave. People should say that, yes, okay, this is a CV or this is a resume that I will definitely keep in mind, maybe today, maybe sometime later. So when you express yourself, I think that's very, very important, and that will really help. A very common point is, I'm not going to touch more on this, it's because, again, it's taken differently with different people, but there's a big difference between resume and CV. And I remember talking to Stephan about it yesterday, and we were just having a good conversation on this. Is resume is when you apply for a job, it's professional. CV is usually for academic purposes. So there is a difference. There are so many questions that come to me on a regular basis that should your CV be 6 pages, or should your resume be 3 pages or 2 pages or 1 page? Should it be colorful? Should it have all the elements? Well, again, making a CV or drawing up a CV is also an art. Although it could be just going down the shredder in the HR, because there are thousands of CVs coming in, or thousands of resumes coming in, whatever name you would like to give it. But what is it that will actually, if anyone has a, they look at it or they read it, is the content at the end of the day. You might beautify it, it might appeal, it might look beautiful, you can put all the graphics in the world, again, don't overdo it also. But if it is crisp, it is simple, it is purposeful, it doesn't talk too much and it doesn't talk too less. When I say that, I mean it talks about the job experience. People today are not interested in the big, lengthy profile of yours where you keep harping about what your accomplishments are, but you can relate of what this particular job requires. So I think resume is, again, a working document. You need to tweak it as per the way you're sending it to which organization. So highlight your strengths. I won't say manipulate for sure. I would say be smart and be very creative of how well you word it, where you are sending your CV, where you're sending your resume. When you send your CV usually send it to your universities. Make sure that whatever is required, you touch base on those points. Same goes for resume. Again, if you've done your research well, if you've looked at, if suppose you're applying to a banking division, understand which division it is, understand the standing of the bank, what kind of standard the organization has in the market, the credibility. A deep-rooted research will always help you to draw up your resume or CV. Then, of course, you even have your general CVs, which would just, go at different places, and so are your resumes. So just keep that in mind as well. Of course, when we say be authentic, genuine, I said that, and then that's also very subjective, I feel, is how you play with your words, how you talk. There is a very thin line between diplomacy and hypocrisy. So a CV talks a lot, an interview talks a lot. It gives you a very, very authentic picture. It's the skill, again, of the interviewer who's able to judge. Maybe they're not speaking much, maybe they are listening much, maybe you've said something, they see, they read between lines. They look at your body language, while you must be thinking that they're busy doing something, but their ears are to you. They're actually listening to you, and they're trying to gauge how you are reacting. And do you respond or do you react? Be very, very clear about it. There is a difference between responding to an answer and reacting to an answer. So all these little things, if you keep in mind, I think it would help. My second statement says heart and mind in sync. And what is that? I mean, these are very simple words of heart and mind. What I actually mean is your EQ and your IQ has to equate. EQ is your emotional quotient, EIQ is your intelligent quotient. So your heart and your mind has to be in sync. People are expecting a certain level of maturity. It's even if you have come, if you've graduated a week before and you've applied for a job, what's important is how you behave, how you project, how you put across your thoughts, whether you sound emotionally balanced or not, whether you are talking sense. All these things you have to keep a balance and check. So if people say that you have to be candid and you don't need to prepare yourselves, I won't go with that. There is a certain amount of preparation which is required. There's a certain amount of stress, good stress, which is also important. Take the pressure. The pressure will bring in the best of you. You don't need to rehearse or script everything. There are certain things which will come naturally, but preparation is, again, very important. So don't take things lightly. Okay, this is just another interview. No, it's not. It is definitely not. It is, if you are serious, people will take you seriously. As simple as that. Unique, interesting, and realistic. I know these are big words again. How can you be unique? How can you be interesting? And how can you be realistic all at the same time? Aspirational, yes, but why not? Why is it that you do not think that you could be interesting? Again, it would need some kind of preparation. Even creativity can be nurtured and groomed. Nothing or everything in life shouldn't be innate and gifted. There is something which you can rehearse. There is something which you can practice. There is something which you can learn over time. So it's again how you're training your brain. So think differently, allow your mind to function in a different manner, um, take up challenges in life, move out of your comfort zone. You have nothing to lose at the end of the day, because if you have earned a 0 for yourself, that means you have 10 more points of scope for improvement. So why not take chances? And every age has its own luxury of taking chances. So just go ahead and do that. Sometimes you may not find it, but the others will definitely find it. So wait for the right opportunity, whether other person needs you or not. And if you are rejected or dejected at any time, just go with that feeling that you did your best and maybe loss is theirs and not yours. So that's the perception you need to have. You did what you could. Now, whether it was COVID or whether it was a management decision or whether I'm not just finding my dream job, it's fine. It will all come. Sometimes you will have to compromise. Yes, you will have to. But then again, to what extent you are ready to compromise is up to you. Absolutely. So the degrees will vary. At one time in life, you might not need it, but at some time you might need it. So it's all subjective at that point. We all know what we have to, the best of theories, the best of principles, the best of coaches will keep telling you what you should do in life. But your experiences in life will tell you what you should not do. Catch on those experiences. So when I have, and trust me, when I write these 6 statements of avoid, these are something which I have learned over a period of time. I was a young person when I started my career. So I still do it at times. I overdo things. I feel that I can do it. I try to do things thinking that yes, no, if I can add this, or if I can add this more, it will be nice. It will all be rosy and beautiful, but don't overdo. So that's something which I learned, and I'm still learning that don't overdo things in life. Don't write or say something which you cannot produce evidence for. Now that's something on very strict on ethical grounds. Whether the company later on you join and you feel, what are they talking about? They don't have work ethics. But that's the company, that's an organization. Here you're talking about yourself, your life. So it's very important that whatever you're putting across through your CV or in your interview, you need to be authentic. It needs to have some data, some evidence that can back for. Otherwise, just to make it beautiful and make it interesting, don't do something for which you will regret later. Don't show off, of course. There is no need for show off. Knowledge doesn't need show off. Highlight relevant stuff, of course. Don't talk about your family, about your future, about your things where people are not really interested and they really get bored. So try to be very clear about what you are going to put forward, and irrelevant stuff will not help you for sure. Don't exceed word limit or talk time. So if Stephan has told me that, Sapna, you have to wrap up at 7:45, I better wrap up at 7:45, because if I increase my talk time, that will not be good. So don't exceed your word limit. If you're writing your personal statement or a talk time, make sure that you're well in limit. Of course, there is, if you have to, it's your character which comes across in those 15 minutes of your interview. So don't come across as arrogant. Again, it's very subjective of who thinks who's arrogant and how, whether you confuse it in being straightforward or you look at it as arrogance. I know you are qualified. I know you come with experience, but sometimes, despite of that, you do not get the job you really want. and you can feel it, or you get that instinct that maybe they're not planning to recruit me, and then somewhere that arrogance come, and somewhere you start feeling too big about yourself. So don't do that if you are, and it doesn't happen intentionally. There is the subconscious self of ours is activated. We don't know when, but if we keep a complete control on our emotions, then we are able to moderate that. Be humble, be grounded. It's extremely important. I think that's the bottom line. Again, we come back to the first statement. What I say is your perception. So if you're grounded, if you're thinking right, if you're not hurting someone, and you're very, very clear about what you want, clarity will come with experience. Clarity will come with time. Nobody is in a process of achieving or attaining nirvana. So let's be realistic that things will turn out at their own sweet time. But what we need to keep in mind is the learning and the process. So that's the story of why, what, and how, and your perception. That's from my side. And if you have any questions or anything you would want me to take on, I'll be more than happy to share. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Sapna. It was really an eye-opener. I believe many of the questions have already been answered. Yes, I'll quickly move forward because if I see the time, let me value the time of people here. I have two important questions. It's like there are many graduates who are unable to find jobs, especially due to pandemic. What would be advice to them? And there are many here in the meeting as well, so it will be addressing their answer. So yes, ma'am.
When you talk about pandemic, I know
Yeah.
there are many things where we could say it's turned out to be negative, but we, again, as I said earlier, also your perception, your mindset, there are many good things also which has happened. One of it is this forum.
Yes,
This is a
absolutely.
product. This is a product of COVID-19, correct? How you
Right.
leverage on it, how you make the best of it. What are your next steps? See how you can work this to your advantage. Whether it's networking with people, whether it's on a webinar, whether it's you have that kind of extra luxurious time on hand, where you can improve your skills, you can take up courses, utilize your time. In a more sensible manner. That's what I would say. Use this time to train yourself. Jobs will open up. If jobs don't open up, think of how you can create jobs. It's not important that you should always have capitals in life where you will, there's so many times, I wish I had that kind of money that I could have in my own startup. Well, today, if we go back, if we go forward, say about 6 months down the line, there'll be so many offices which would be redundant. We don't need those lavish cabins and those sophisticated workplaces, because everything can happen on your laptop or your phone, right? We've learned
Yes.
the art to stay at home and work and do our own stuff, and save, do different things, involve ourselves in different activities. So I think it's important that how you create an opportunity, depending again on what skill set you have. Maybe you'll have to diversify completely. Maybe you'll have to look at something which is an X factor, which you had in yourself, but you never had the time to groom that or to take the best out of it. So I think this is all a training time. COVID time should be taken as a very, very important time. This is historic in all our lives. In all, I mean, the last was 1920, if I'm not mistaken. So it's a lifetime experience for all of us. We witnessed to something very special and something very beautiful also, because this has also given a lot of openings to so many people. Yes, we wouldn't want this to be repeated, but we should take back all what good it has given us.
Yes, I'm also like really thankful that I'm in Mumbai and you are in UAE, and there are people from different corners, and we all are connected via Zoom, and this is the best thing happened, that we are connected. So
Correct.
it's really great.
Yeah, I mean, I just want to give a small example here of
Sure.
how 14-year-old students have leveraged on this. There's a group of students in our school who started an initiative called as App Space. And
Okay.
what they did was they sourced out young researchers, PhD students, and on Instagram, and they have had series of webinars. And what kind of information they brought on the table, which none of the school curriculums are able to give you. Hands-on experience, their experience, what lovely conversations they could have is not we as professionals cannot even come close to them. So they have used social media. We keep bashing them that you are misusing social media, but how brilliantly they have used the social media and sourced out people, which we would never be able to do so in our normal world. So the new norm comes with new benefits as well. It's how you look at it again.
Yes, it's a perception and how we look at the positive side of life, how to use it in the best possible way.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And be realistic. I mean,
Yes.
it's not all beautiful and rosy. You have to take some calculated risk in life, but then why not?
Definitely. Ma'am, I have another important question here. It is like, if there is too much of gossiping in the office, like office environment, there's a lot of gossiping happening. How to overcome and avoid it? Basically, you must be already aware of it. So, how to tackle this situation?
See, again, there's a thin line between things being toxic and
Yes.
things being gossip. Okay,
Okay.
gossip is something a part of every. It's again, it's healthy. Sometimes gossip is healthy. It's a stress buster. Use it as a stress buster. Don't take it too hard. Have your session of gossip. Go around your colleague's cubicle and gas around. Talk something which is not hurting people, which is not judging people, but just talk and understand. Have that maturity of taking it forward where you have to, or cut it there. So it is
Yes.
again how you handle a situation. I think there comes your emotional intelligence, because we're all human beings. We will talk. I will share my views. I will vent out what I want to. Now, how much you take in, how much you live with it, and how much you sift out is completely your choice.
Yeah, that's really cool. A different way of looking from your side. Like, it's you are in this world. You have to go through it, but how
Correct.
you use it in the right way, and you have to be very wise and how you approach it. I
Yeah,
get it.
absolutely. Yeah, and yes, but you should understand again where toxicity comes in and where
Yes.
people are, and then you should be smart enough again to
Yeah.
ignore it as long as it's not harming. And if it is too difficult for you to take in, then stand up
Okay.
for it. Don't crib
Yeah.
about it, stand up for it, fight for it in the right, follow the protocol. I think every company, every organization has set of protocols, and we fail to read up those and understand those. I think we should invest some time in that and look up to the protocols that follow the guidelines.
Yes, thank you so much for you. It was very kind that you
Most
answered
welcome.
this question, and I was very much interested to ask you about this because it's a general thing people come across. My dear
Okay.
friends, I would also request you, if any one of you have any questions, kindly put it in the chat box. Let's keep it engaging. Let's not keep it as monologue or a one-side dialogue. We have there is time available, and definitely we can have some more questions coming in. So please feel free. Is there anybody who would like to, like, any questions that come to your mind? And meanwhile, ma'am, if you have anything else also, like if you have any more insights, yeah, definitely we can go for like few more minutes. It would be like really nice.
Not really. I mean, I think I've finished my talk time, but there's
Yeah,
something which I really feel what I could share is about um, about working as a leader, and there are different leadership styles. And
exactly.
this was actually my conversation a few weeks back with a young student from California. He
Oh,
was interviewing me for a podcast, and we were discussing about how important it is to have different leadership styles. So
oh,
there is again one size that not fits all. So we have to adapt to different leadership styles. And I feel whatever level you join in your organization, you are a leader of your own self. So
yes,
start grooming those skills. Start thinking as a leader. Start strategizing as a leader. Start. Uh, you will see a lot of empathy coming to you, because you are adapting different leadership styles. people say that, yes, I'm authoritative, or I'm democratic, or I'm subservient. I mean, different leadership styles are there, but start thinking that we use leadership styles only depending on the situations we are in. If this situation demands democracy, give it to it. If a situation demands authority, give that. Because again, it is very debatable. So be a leader.
Yes, yes, absolutely. I agree with you on that.
It's
And
like you are a leader today. Stephan, you are a leader of this show. I mean, you lead us and we just follow you. So that's how, and you are empowered. Feel yourself. I think your entire, the concept which this e-talk and your Brainciti, everything talks about empowerment, right? So
correct.
where does this
Yes.
empowerment come from? When you get that position, and you don't need to have a tag. Nobody needs to give you that badge and say that you are the CEO. You are a CEO of yourself. It's how
Absolutely.
you lead yourself and how you conduct your life. So I think that's
That's
important.
directly hitting the nail on the point. And yes, we have a leader. Let me be very open. I learned it from our coach, founder Avil Pinto. He is a leader in himself. Santosh is there. Who is there? There are a lot of people here. Everybody, they have that skills in them, and they're doing their best. And I've seen like there's a difference between leaders and managers. A manager may just manage people and taking the
Correct.
credit of the work. He may take it for himself, but a leader, he influences people, is a role model. He gives the credit to the team, but he will take the challenges and the responsibilities. If anything goes wrong, he will accept it, and he gives the credit to the team. And he
Well
makes
said. Yeah.
sure a leader creates another leader. He creates great people. And yes, I'm here. Our coach leader is here, Mr. Avil Pinto. He is the one. So it's not about like it's the fact. It's right in front of all of us. And you yourself
Absolutely.
are a leader. All the women also. Let me just take 1 minute 30 seconds only. We are celebrating Women's Week, International Women's Day. There are great women leader in this. Like we have entrepreneurs. You are there. Then we have a lot of coaches. We have Coach Sushma, Anita. They all are playing different parts in their own way. And we have great leaders like Teresa was there. We have politicians. So many things, and you all play a different role, a leadership role as a woman. You take care of the family as well as the professional life. So it is
Thank
really good
you.
to hear from you.
Yes,
Yes, my
thank
dear.
you so much, Stephan. I think well said. And when you talk about women, and
Yes,
honestly,
yes,
I feel every day is a Women's Day and every day is a Man's Day.
absolutely.
It's it's
We really
it's the
respect
way
all the
we have
women. Yeah,
coined these days, but actually, it's every day is our day. It's up to you how you make it, right?
absolutely, absolutely. So, my dear friends, we still have time. If you have to ask anything, please feel free to open your questions. Yeah, I one person had asked me. I remember that. Let me just put it across to you. The question is very simple: how to find a job in Dubai? That is what he had told me. So, yeah, there are people, because when I was a fresher, I was thinking the same thing. Question mark was there: how to find a job? So, if you can quickly address it, ma'am, it would be really great. Just
Okay,
in your own way. Yeah.
correct. If it was a year back, I would say just invest some amount for your ticket,
Okay.
and bring little funds, and just
Right.
take a flight and come. Try. There
Right.
are, on a daily basis, there are hundreds of people who are coming and looking out for a job.
Okay.
Yes,
Yes.
of course, 90% of them are not lucky.
Yes.
But today
Yes.
I would just say things are different. Uh, Wherever you are, in whichever part of the world you are, if you want to come to Dubai, research first, see where you want to. Everything is on your fingertips. Connect with people, use forums like this, make your social media strong, look at your LinkedIn, make up your profile there better. Use your all your skills of digital media, and how you can leverage and try to see whether there are opportunities. Don't lose hope. Coming
Yes.
to Dubai and getting a
Absolutely.
job is definitely not the end of life. But even if you have this as a part of your desire or your need, or whatever you dream or whatever, give it a shot. We all have one life, and why not? It's just have a process in mind. Be calculate it smartly. Look at different options also. The more you research what industry you want to go to, maybe you will, wherever you are, you will find out that maybe it is not that lucrative. Maybe it's not going to help you. Then you can look at different options also. First, we used to say, keep your plan B always.
Yes.
Now I say, keep your plan Z always, because the
Oh,
plans,
that's really good.
there's a lot of uncertainties around it. But don't be fixated. If it doesn't work in Dubai, it'll work somewhere else.
Yes, yes,
Don't
that's
yeah, this is not the be all and end all for everything. Try, give it your shot. Depends on what juncture of life you are and how much you can afford to do that. But don't invest too much of your time. If it's not working out, look at different options.
yes, yes, yes. Thank you so much, ma'am, for your insights. Another question I have, like how to respond when we have to overcome failure. This is generally we go through. So how do you react to it? That was one
Yeah,
question.
yeah. So I think somewhere in my presentation, when I said,
Yeah.
let's all try and learn not to react but to respond, there is a difference
Okay.
of how.
Correct.
So
Correct.
let's not react to failures, let's respond to failures. So when we respond to failures, we objectively look back and reflect and see why there was a failure. Was it
Yeah.
situational? Was it some lack of skill? Where was it lack of qualification? Was it lack of experience? Why is it that we failed? And why is it that we cannot change our failure into a success story? And
That's
and I
actually. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah
Please continue.
yeah, and I wouldn't mind sharing this with all of you. I've shared this on an open forum earlier also. Uh, my one of my success stories is my biggest failure. I was working for HR in a bank, and I switched my job, or I took a sabbatical, just because I realized my son, who was barely 2 years old, had a stammering issue, and he could not speak well at that age. So it was very important that I left my very good job, just to make sure that I could invest time in him. And although I went to a lot of speech therapists, still I was not able to make a breakthrough. So I invested few years of mine just coaching him, and I realized what a counselor, a mother can do, no one can do. And that's the time when I took up counseling as my as my course. And I completely shifted it was an inspiration, it was an insight to me of taking a different field altogether. And that's how I started my journey in the field of education. So it was a turning point for me. It was a failure at that time where I was not able to do things. But when in year 6 my son won a third place in elocution competition, that became
Wow.
a success story. So there was a failure at one point where I was not able to make a breakthrough. Few years later, it turned out to be a success story, because somewhere in experience, I realized what priorities could be, who and where they can make a change, what they can do, how they can add value. So if you're a reflective person, it really helps you. And not all this gyan comes to you just because you are into a field. It only comes through experience, sometimes with your own experience, sometimes with your counterparts, sometimes with your colleagues. Today, children who are young, children who are 10, 12, 13 years old, they teach us so much. You
Yes.
should be open to being a learner. That's important.
Yeah. It's the hitting point. Be a student of life, as we say. Be a learner. That's so important.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ms. Sapna. What do I say? If we go on talking, it will,
Yeah,
the time is
I
very
told
short.
you
It will,
that's my
yeah.
weakness also, so I
But
have to work on that.
no, I have it in my control. There's still time, but it's really nice to hear you are so crisp and so precise to the point. Your words make the entire. It makes the clear. It gives the message very clearly. Your words. So thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
Uh,
And I wish each and every one of you who is on this forum all the
yes.
best. May you be successful in whatever you do, and you have your own definition of success. And God bless each and every one of us, especially through this pandemic. We sail through this and we come out in flying colors with a lot of knowledge and with a lot of experience. And then we give back to the society whatever we have.
Yes, definitely. Thank you so much for your wishes and your motivation to each one of us. It's really required. As you said it, it's really, thank you so much for that kindness. So, ma'am, as I move forward, I would like to give a word of thanks to you for your valuable inputs. Some of the key takeaways, I'll just summarize it quickly. It's like perception, then why, what, and how about self-awareness. Then your principle of Isaac, investigate different things that you told, and about research, develop skills, build your network. It is so important to do all these things, create opportunities. And the point about inputs and outputs, like listening, reading, speaking, it was, I have heard it first time, like this thing, the breakup. So thank you very much for that. And the difference between resume and this CV, where do you use it? And yes, the overall, we have to be original, we have to be genuine, we have to be our best. Like nobody can copy you, and you should not copy anyone. Be your original. So thank you for all these inputs, and thank you for investing your time and your energy efforts for this, making this entire session so fruitful. So I'm really thankful to you with my heart for that.
Thank you.
Yeah, and yeah, I have something for you specially. Let me share the screen once again. Yes, ma'am.
Oh, thank you
Yes,
so much,
yeah.
Stephan. That's
There
very
is,
sweet of
yeah.
you.
This is from Mumbai to UAE all the way. I will be sending it across to you as a bouquet. So thank you, ma'am, for your
Thank you so much. Thank you.
inputs.
Really
Really
appreciate.
kind. Yeah, we are really honored to have you here in our
No,
midst.
no, it's my honor to be with all of you, with all getting an opportunity like this to share my views, my thoughts, my experiences. I think it
Yes,
has really helped me also, and I have learned back, and I take back something from this as well. So, and you all are doing a fantastic job, and especially when you keep saying, Stephan, that you're volunteering for it. So
yeah,
my heart goes out to all the volunteers in the world, because when you try to do something and want to give back to the society, I think you're doing a fantastic job. To Asha, to Avel, to
yes.
everybody who's a part of this organization, all the best to you, and God bless. Thank you so
Yes,
much.
ma'am. Yeah. So, ma'am, as I continue, I would like to thank like our people. Wenzel, yeah, Wenzel Fernandez is there. He's busy there on his work. Thank you, Vibrant Wenzel, for making this beautiful poster. We have seen these posters on maybe Instagram, on this WhatsApp groups, on Telegram, on Facebook, and this website, the Dubai Jobs Hunt website, everywhere possible. Instagram stories, Facebook stories. So this masterpiece was designed by Wenzel Fernandez. So thank you, Wenzel, from the bottom of my heart, for making it so creative and so much lively. Then I would like to thank Anita Isaac, who has been really generous and kind to license and coordinate with you as a speaker and arrange the entire setup. Thank you, Anita. God bless you for that. And yes, all the volunteers, Miss Renira Iyer, realistic Renira, we call her Renira. Then we have Reshma Saldana. Then we have Alan. We have Jiban here. Then we have Santosh, who was the one who started in the beginning. Is the wall of Dubai Jobs Hunt. And we have Vinisha. We have all of them here present. Tulika is there. I'm sorry, I must have, sometimes the names must not be there. So I'm really thankful to all of them for putting in their efforts and making this show very easy, the session very easy, and marketing about the event, promoting about the event. And a special thanks to Brainciti, the empowerment talks powered by Brainciti, Mr. Faisal Ibrahim, Yes Rawat, for this collaboration, so that we could do something good for the universe. And yes, the audience here, that's the very important part. Without the audience, you would not survive. The people here who are taking their valuable time, it's a weekend. In India, it's not a weekend, but yes, in UAE, it's Friday, Thursday and Friday, busy weekend. People would not be interested to come here, but they are still here. So thank you for that very much from the bottom of my heart. And please continue, my dear friends, to be on this session. Thank you to the people on the Facebook community who have been watching the sessions all the way. And yes, my dear friends, here we have the different handles we are on. We are on Telegram, we are on the Facebook group. You can join there. Then yes, then we are on Instagram handle, that is dubaijobson.djh. You can just put this extension and you can join in. Then yes, if you want to know anything about Brainciti, that is, you can visit brainciti.com. You will get all the information over there. And also these sessions, what we are doing it today, if you have missed it or if you want to share it, let's do this generous act. We can share it to each other, and people can actually watch it again on YouTube. It will be really wonderful. All the sessions till now are listed on YouTube. So please make it a point. And also I request people to please visit 𝗦𝗽𝗲𝗂𝘁.com. Don't forget this name, 𝗦𝗽𝗲𝗂𝘁.com, ultimate place to get all the aspiring job, the dream jobs that you want, and also for career advancement. It's really cool website, and please spread this word of mouth. We have passed 520 right now. If you see the live, if you check right now, it's 520 registrations, and it's really humbling, and we are with deep gratitude to all of you. It's because of all of you, and it's for all of you, my dear friends. And yes, the next session, next episode would be on 18th of March 2021. That is the next Thursday, career Thursday. And yes, there's a simple quote I put: each one bring one. So today we were like 35 or whatever number. Each one bring one, and it's not like just bringing one person, it's like doing a noble act. Now I'm bringing someone, yes, I'm helping that person to come and get a good job. You are being be a blessing to someone's life. That is what I could say. So let's remember this idea: each one bring one. And yes, my dear friends, as we come to an end, I wish you all a very good year 2021 as the pandemic goes on. And I believe we all will progress in our life, we all will prosper in our life. And let's stay motivated. So, my dear friends, stay safe, stay blessed, stay healthy, and stay wealthy, and keep motivating. And definitely, I want each one of you to see to come back on the next session as well. That is on 18th of March. So, thank you, my dear friends. And if you have time, we can take this time to network with each other if you have your time permits. So, my dear friends, let's continue to network. So, thank you so much, and God bless. And Shubh Ratri, Shabha Khair. This is Stephan signing off. Yeah.